Representing His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him. His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah al-Ahmed al-Sabah, the Prime Minister, may Allah protect him, marks a momentous journey to Germany in a vibrant commemoration of the strong Kuwaiti-German relations. The state of Kuwait and the Mercedes-Benz Group rejoice in 50 years of partnership. Bound by shared values and visions, the flags of both nations flutter in harmony, echoing a melody of friendship and cooperation.
Very good evening and welcome to a very special coverage here on KTV2. I'm your host Yusuf Ibrahim, and tonight we're talking about an extraordinary occasion, the 50th anniversary of the partnership between the state of Kuwait and Mercedes-Benz, one of the world's most iconic automotive brands. This landmark event is being celebrated in Germany, where His Highness the Prime Minister of Kuwait, representing His Highness the Emir of Kuwait, Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may God protect and bless him, is attending the festivities. It's a partnership that has shaped economic, industrial and diplomatic ties as well between Kuwait and Germany for decades. Tonight's program will dive into the details of this historic visit as well as explore the broader significance of this partnership. We will also hear from consultant engineer and economic analyst Mr. Jassim Qabazard, who will share his insights with us tonight. In addition, we have 3 reports from various locations giving us a closer look at the festivities and the significance of this partnership. But first, let's start with the main highlights of this momentous visit. Her Excellency Reem Al Khalid, the Kuwaiti ambassador, has shared this message with us on this occasion.
تكتسب الزيارة التي يقوم بها ممثل حضرة صاحب السمو أمير البلاد حفظه الله ورعاه سمو رئيس مجلس الوزراء الشيخ أحمد عبد الله الأحمد الصباح حفظه الله أهمية خاصة وكبيرة، وذلك للاحتفال بمرور 50 عاما على الشراكة الاستثمارية ممثلة بالهيئة العامة للاستثمار مع شركة مرسيدس بنز. وأيضا هذه الزيارة تكتسب هذه الأهمية لتزامنها مع مرور 60 عاماً على علاقاتنا الثنائية الاستراتيجية والمتميزة مع جمهورية ألمانيا الاتحادية. هذا النوع من الزيارات يمثل أهمية أيضاً كبيرة بما يتعلق بتوسيع مجالات التعاون الثنائي بين البلدين الصديقين في كافة المجالات، وخصوصاً بالمجالات الاستثمارية والاقتصادية، كون ألمانيا تعتبر أحد أكبر الاقتصاديات بالقارة الأوروبية. لذلك نتطلع إلى تعزيز فرص التعاون التجاري والاستثماري مع جمهورية ألمانيا الاتحادية، وإلى نقل هذه العلاقات الثنائية الاستراتيجية إلى آفاق أوسع وأرحب.
Representing His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him. His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah al-Ahmed al-Sabah, the Prime Minister, may Allah protect him, marks a momentous journey to Germany in a vibrant commemoration of the strong Kuwaiti-German relations. The state of Kuwait and the Mercedes-Benz Group rejoice in 50 years of partnership. Bound by shared values and visions, the flags of both nations flutter in harmony, echoing a melody of friendship and cooperation.
An exciting chapter in Kuwaiti-German relations indeed. Now to discuss the significance of this visit and partnership, we have a very special guest joining us, Mr. Jassim Qabzard, a consultant engineer and an economic expert. Mr. Jassim, thank you first of all for being here with us today. It's always a pleasure having you with us here on KTV2.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back. I appreciate it, and I hope I'll be helpful tonight.
Mr. Jassim, today's topic is going to be a little bit different than our previous conversations that we've had here on TV. It's very exciting. It's thrilling. We're going to learn a lot about this strong strategic partnership that has been ongoing for 50 years. But first, to start off, could you tell us a bit about your perspective on this historic visit?
Actually, the presence, the value of the presence itself speaks a lot. First, that His Highness the Emir is officially represented in this meeting. And rarely you find a head of state involved in an industry or an automotive, to be particular, industry, unless it has a very great significant value, not only for His Highness the Emir, but also for the German owners and company and for the German nation. So the significance of it is the value of the presence, the level of representation of the Kuwait delegation. The people who are involved in this meeting are of the highest caliber, where you have first of all, the Prime Minister representing His Highness the Emir Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed. And you have the Minister of Oil, you have the Chairman and CEO of Kuwait Investment Office, and you have the Governor of Kuwait Central Bank, plus many other gentlemen and ladies who are involved in this let's say group, who represent the Kuwaiti partners, which indicate the importance of the presence of these people and their involvement in this particular partnership.
Sir Jassim, this topic should be very interesting to you, especially with a background in engineering and economy as well.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about the 50th anniversary and what makes it so special. But before we get into that, as an engineer perspective, everything started from a combustible engine, is that correct?
Correct, that's true. And for Kuwait, we're talking about 1950s, where Sheikh Abdullah Salam had started actually the whole idea of international investment and creating a source of income for the nation other than diversification, other than oil. He started it, and then it developed from different names to become Kuwait Investment Authority. And it has right now one of the highest, the most important sovereign funds in the world, if not the first, the second. And this indicates the futuristic look of the rulers of Kuwait. May they all live in peace. They rest in peace. They all planned to provide diversity of income from investments and for the nation of Kuwait, in addition to the oil. So therefore, this investment company has actually started an important matter for other projects to follow. This is only one, which has to do with an industry which affects the infrastructure, which all the road construction, building construction, and it also affects the national income for Kuwait to support development projects in Kuwait, which are usually building and city planning and city development. So therefore, the engineering part has a lot to do with it. Plus, you have also the cultural, where you have the exchange of knowledge between German specialists and Kuwaiti specialists and trainees and so forth and so on.
Speaking of about the infrastructure, how's Mercedes-Benz contributed to Kuwait's infrastructure?
Oh, this dates back to the days that I was working as an engineer in the Ministry of Public Works. You're talking the 1970s. And I remember at that time the boom that was happening in Kuwait, and especially in the construction field. And Mercedes trucks in particular were the most valuable vehicles at the time, who transported products, goods, construction material, everything, let's say asphalt.
No matter what the size is or the weight.
Yes, exactly. These heavy duty productive vehicles were very, very effective in the...
And reliable as well.
Definitely. And they're very... they were good investments for any contractor at the time. Plus, you have all the other vehicles, the Mercedes-Benz products, which were used by contractors, by people who visited Kuwait, by the ambulances, and you have, particularly in the oil sector, where they need very, very heavy-duty special tools and equipment and vehicles. Also, Mercedes-Benz had a leading role in its development. So we're talking about this, plus you're talking about the transportation of goods between Kuwait and Iraq and Saudi Arabia. And these neighboring countries, and they were also, these vehicles were the transportation tools reliable between the two countries.
Which is the main thing in any form of transportation.
Absolutely.
Reliability is the main factor that plays a huge role, especially in transportation.
Plus you're talking about buses that were used for mass transit. So if you're looking really on different fronts, this partnership with others products was actually a part of the development of Kuwait for many years until today.
So Jassim, before we get off here and take a quick look at this upcoming report, I want to see your personal standpoint. Could you share any significant moments from the Prime Minister's visit to Germany?
Well, really the most significant is the value of the presence itself. This indicated whoever was watching television, was in the media, who is involved. The top-notch managers of Daimler-Benz company, which rarely they show up on the media, plus the Kuwaiti delegation headed by His Highness the Prime Minister. This indicates the importance of this particular project and their presence, and when they show up and they have both the German and the Kuwaiti flag behind them, and they sign documents and agreements and smiles everywhere, where you are representing a 50-year successful, productive
strategic partnership, correct,
between two countries and this industry, which itself is a message for many people to say that you can have such successful joint ventures if you really give it, the support and you give it the opportunity. And Kuwait has always been, in this particular partnership, a very helpful partner. They started with almost 14% of the ownership of the Daimler-Benz, and that's quite a bit of investment. You're talking about $330 million at the time in 1970, and by 40 years only, it increased to $6 to $7 billion.
Wow.
And it's continuing to do that. And this is only one investment. You can imagine all the other investments are all contributing to the development of Kuwait. So the significance is very important.
Of course, in Kuwait, we are very specific about what we partner with, and we always pick the right product, like we said. And Mercedes-Benz has been proving reliability year after year.
Yes, yes.
And it's a very well-known car and loved by many here in Kuwait.
Yes.
Mr. Jassim, let's take a quick look at this following report, and we'll get back with more questions.
Kuwait and Germany have built strong ties since 1963, focusing on trade, investment, and political dialogue. Kuwait's strategic position in the Middle East and Germany's role as a major European power make them partners. Germany is one of Kuwait's largest European trading partners, with exchange in machinery, vehicles, chemicals, and high-tech industries. Kuwait supplies Germany with energy, especially oil, while investing in German companies. Germany also contributes to infrastructure and development projects in Kuwait, partially in urban development, renewable energy, and sustainability. Cultural and educational cooperation is also significant, with many Kuwaiti students studying in Germany. Cultural exchanges, including art exhibition and events, promote mutual understanding. Kuwait shares its culture with Germany, while Germany's rich heritage attracts a growing interest among Kuwaitis. The relationship between Kuwait and Germany is multifaceted, with a deep cooperation in political, economic, culture, and educational fields. Both countries continue to build on their strong foundation of mutual respect and shared interests as they face global challenges together, including those related to climate change, regional security, and economic development. The ties between Kuwait and Germany are likely to continue growing, strengthening their role as important international partners.
Representing His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him. His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah al-Ahmed al-Sabah, the Prime Minister, may Allah protect him, marks a momentous journey to Germany in a vibrant commemoration of the strong Kuwaiti-German relations. The State of Kuwait and the Mercedes-Benz Group rejoice in 50 years of partnership. Bound by shared values and visions, the flags of both nations flutter in harmony, echoing a melody of friendship and cooperation.
Welcome back, dear viewers. We're going to get back to more interesting questions with Mr. Jassim Qabazard. Mr. Jassim, we spoke briefly about the previous 50 years.
Yeah.
I want to get into the next 50 years.
Right.
Daimler has experienced so many new products. People know them just for their vehicles. But from my understanding, they have many other products. I want to talk about back in 2007, about the academy created by Mercedes-Benz here in Kuwait. What was that academy and what was its purpose?
It's quite a pioneer project, and I was surprised that such an academy was actually existed in Kuwait. And they started an MOU in 2005, and by 2007 the academy was actually built and functioning, up and running. And until now they have graduates, almost 200 students, Kuwaiti students, who've learned the technology of automotive industry, which means these are individuals by now who are productive in the private sector or in the company itself or working with the government, attending to automotive
with the
technology.
Experience of the German specialty
specialist
in automotive.
By
automotive, are we talking about cars or any combustible engine?
I believe if it's an academy, these are principles of the engine itself, with the different types, as we go along. So by
working on the top-notch combustible engine, any other engine should be a piece of cake.
Yes, so they are depending on the research they have, the level of study they have, the level of expertise they have, and depending on this, the teachers who exchange and come back and forth and bring new knowledge for the students. So that is quite an achievement for Kuwait to have this done in 2007 by Mercedes-Benz, Daimler-Benz. And I believe that that should be really applied on many other projects, not only this, maybe aeronautical, maybe buses, whatever you have, and different...
so the academy specializes in many different things,
exactly,
not just automotive.
That's a very positive outcome.
That relates back to the infrastructure, like we spoke earlier.
Yes.
Mr. Jassim, I want to ask you something about renewable energy.
Yeah.
There are future plans, like I mentioned. We're going to talk about the next 50 years.
Yes.
What are the plans for the next 50 years on renewable energy?
First of all, I understand that the Daimler-Benz people are quite happy to have Kuwait as a partner, because it has a big investment and it has a supportive attitude to any kind of development, and research requires open-mindedness, and the Kuwaiti partners are very well respected by the German firm for not
worldwide, not just in Germany.
In this particular project,
Field,
they're praising the Kuwait is not interfering, into their business nor in the management, but they give them all the, as they call it, passive support, which is quite good for a company that likes to improve itself and come up with new ideas. So they've managed to support for instance, the airbag. The German airbag industry, the German technology was improved so much by Daimler-Benz using the ABS system and by support of the Kuwaiti partnership. And the renewable energy, they're talking about the green energy, which is a hydrogen product to be used as a fuel. And this pretty soon is going to...
Let's break it down.
Right.
That hydrogen product.
I'm not familiar with the technology.
Okay.
It's new.
But it's going to save...
It's going to save a lot in terms of consumption, in terms of energy production, and I'm sure...
it's going to be very helpful for the environment as well.
Usually, if I understand, it comes out of water instead of oil. Plus, you have the battery, which is moving into the market. Development of the battery system for the vehicles now. The German vehicles, by the way, Kuwait is now bringing a lot of Mercedes, I know, and other cars,
battery operated
which are
cars.
battery operated, which call them electrical energy, and this is going to be the future, and it requires more research and follow-up and development. So Kuwait is involved in that, and we have the solar energy also. The Germans are quite well versed in this, and Kuwait is supporting through this partnership, which is automotive, but they are doing work about improving let's say, the development in solar energy production for green energy.
Are those the new fuel energy, or is there something else within the new fuel energy?
As far as I know, these are let's say they've triggered this already, and now they need development and expansion to make them more economical and more accessible and more usable. So this requires time, and talking about 50 years, I presume in this coming 50 years, this technology is going to be improved, and Kuwait is going to be an important partner in this. By the way, this partnership initiated in the Gulf region, the same by other Gulf states.
Oh, wow.
Qatar, for instance, did the same thing and followed suit, and they went and made an agreement with Volkswagen. So they have also started this. So Kuwait has been a pioneer in encouraging and making the investment a viable investment. Not only that, especially on long term. So I believe the way the Kuwaiti partners are behaving with their German partners is a good example for any neighboring country which is forward-looking to follow suit and learn from this.
Since we're on this topic, and Kuwait has encouraged neighboring countries to pursue these kind and types of developing partnership with global and regional countries and products, what would you say has been the most significant achievement, especially in this partnership between Kuwait and Mercedes-Benz?
The real achievement is how Kuwait and Germany joined forces to create a source of income for the nation. You know, for any nation, you think about the future generation. You're talking about development. You're talking about availability of cash, availability of funds. And this itself is the most important significance. And not too many projects of this type last for 10 years successfully. 50 years, I mean.
Correct. But you were correct. Not many last for 10 years.
Yes.
So what do you think about it lasting for 50 years?
And it looks promising that
for
in
the next 50 or
years,
150 years.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
So you are standing on very solid grounds with a lot of backup so that you could move on any new developments that you can do in this industry. By the way, just this cultural relation created a cultural, let's say, trust between the Germans and the Kuwaitis through this partnership, where many other companies, electrical companies, power stations, came to Kuwait. The Kuwaitis became more, let's say, trustworthy working with the Germans and vice versa. So that increased the involvement, the cultural involvement and technology transfer from German experts to Kuwaitis. And this itself is quite an achievement, which came as a byproduct of the partnership with
Mr.
Mercedes.
Jassim, correct me if I'm wrong. So this investment, correct, it was very beneficial for both countries and both nations, economically speaking, but Kuwait chose specifically this company, Mercedes-Benz specifically,
Yes.
not just for generating income, but they chose it for its reliability and its
Yes.
safety.
Yes.
So we're talking about lives actually matter before any investment, whether it
Yes.
be in any field, whether it's transportation or technology. Since we're talking about infrastructure, it's very important, and heavy machinery is involved. That safety matters the most. Is that correct?
That's very correct. And it's actually a business which transfers technology from a highly precision productive firm to the Kuwaiti market. Out of this academy, out of the whole presence of the Mercedes-Benz vehicles in Kuwait, this created a market for young generation to learn how to deal with car dealership, with car sales, with car services. So you've created actually new jobs.
Correct.
For the young generations in Kuwait of high caliber, not any caliber. So the byproduct of this partnership has gone wide, and you have now the private sector. Either they have showrooms, or they have service stations, or they have any such specialist learning from this industry. So actually the people of Kuwait also are benefiting from this. So it has a multifaceted benefit. Therefore, if we're talking about expanding in the next 50 years, the transfer of technology in the automotive industry is going to provide job opportunities, business opportunities for the public.
It's not limited just to automotive, as we discussed earlier. Within the next years, there are promising talks about renewable energy being in partnership with Mercedes-Benz. Is that correct?
Yes.
And as we know that everything in the world is moving very fast, especially with technology.
Yes.
Probably we're looking at something maybe within the next years, instead of like a progress of 50 years within the next year. So within the next 50 years, the progress is going to be moving very fast, and that's going to create jobs, and it's going to have a safe environment for everyone living, let's say, worldwide.
Of high standards also.
Of high
It's not
standards,
any
especially
standard,
with renewable energy, dealing with energy, the way you extract it. I'm sure there is some sort of precautions that need to be taken in place. And once again, we have to strictly talk about the safety of people. It comes first.
Yes.
Before the product.
As we can see, Daimler-Benz company is one of the pioneering companies who care for the safety of the passengers.
Not just passengers, their employees as well.
Exactly. It's true. So in their factory, I'm sure, while they're visiting the factory in Stuttgart, they are seeing how the company cares for its people, cares for the machine handling, care for the safety and the rights of the people to get a good salary for the very important work and project which they're doing with this important work. I believe that our leaders, when they started to pick this particular company and invest in them at a time, we're talking about 50 years ago, they have to be commended, mashallah.
MashaAllah, that's correct.
To correct the right company.
Kuwait has always been pioneering and has a vision for the next many years to go. Let's say, I'm not going to put a number from our past, thanks to our leaders. Their vision spreads expands to 100 years ahead.
Yes.
Mr. Jassim, is there anything a message you would like to share with the people of Kuwait regarding the future of Kuwait-Germany relations?
Yes, I believe the Kuwaiti people must become, in my opinion, more aggressive in learning.
Okay, correct.
You know, and not depend on expats, with due respect on expats, to take advantage of this particular partnership, let's say in this field. I'm sure if they go there and get interested, they'll find some way where they could make business for the future and this particular sample of partnership itself is a pilot project, I would say, for anybody to follow suit. So I hope that the Kuwaiti people, Kuwaiti businessmen, take this visit very seriously and study and learn about it, because what I did, my little research that I did about this, is quite fascinating. The amount and degree and diversity of the interests that you can make out of this as a business, as a way of life, and a sustainable way of life, not just a temporary way of life. I've did some calculation as to how many cars, Mercedes cars, have been sold in Kuwait in these 50 years. I came up with a number, some 160,000 different types of Mercedes in the last 50 years that have come. And just from the 2017 until today, 20,000 Mercedes vehicles have been sold in Kuwait.
That's a large number.
That's a quite large number. You're talking about
population.
almost 5,000, 4,500 per month, per year, about this car. So if you go back about the years before, by the way, I think before there were more sales in the cars because of the construction boom. But taking about some 130, some 140,000 vehicles different coming out of just aside from the other vehicles in Kuwait, that's quite an achievement. It's quite a successful business.
Well, like you mentioned, Kuwaitis are always enthusiasts, especially in business-related field, not just in Kuwait, even abroad. And their future looks very bright and promising. And partnering up with global well-known companies, of course, is beneficial, especially on the academic level.
Yes.
Mr. Jassim, we're going to take a quick look at the following report and get back to more interesting questions.
Inshallah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick look at the following report.
Germany share a robust economic relationship, with oil playing a crucial role in the trade dynamics. Kuwait, as one of the largest oil producers globally, provides Germany with a reliable source of energy, especially the crude oil, which is vital for Germany's industrial base and energy needs. Germany, in turn, has long been one of Kuwait's key trading partners in Europe, exporting a range of high-tech machinery, industrial equipment, and vehicles that support Kuwait's diverse economic activities. Oil remain the cornerstone of their economic ties. Kuwait's oil export to Germany ensure a stable energy supply for German industries, especially as the country seeks to transition to more sustainable energy sources while maintaining its industrial capabilities. Kuwait's vast oil reserve also offer investment opportunities, and German companies are involved in various energy-related sectors in Kuwait, from refining to petrochemicals. In addition to oil, the economic relationship between the two countries extends to technology, infrastructure, and innovation, as Germany engineering expertise support the Kuwait Development Plan. As both nations continue to explore opportunities in renewable energy and sustainable technologies, the partnership in the oil sector remains a cornerstone of their shared prosperity.
Representing His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him. His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah al-Ahmed al-Sabah, the Prime Minister, may Allah protect him, marks a momentous journey to Germany in a vibrant commemoration of the strong Kuwaiti-German relations the state of Kuwait and the Mercedes-Benz Group rejoice in 50 years of partnership. Bound by shared values and visions, the flags of both nations flutter in harmony, echoing a melody of friendship and cooperation.
Welcome back, dear viewers. As promised, we're going to get back with Mr. Jassim Qabazard for a few couple interesting questions before we leave. Mr. Jassim.
Yes.
We spoke about Mercedes-Benz.
Yes.
That great automotive company. That great automotive company was born in a country that knows not to present anything but the best. Is that correct?
Correct.
Let's talk about other great companies in Germany that are presented to the world with such a great reliability.
Yes.
Let's start with the health sector first.
Yes, actually in the health sector, it's quite interesting to talk about this subject, and I would like to know if the Kuwait Investment Authority has other investments as important as this, where you deal with the masses of the people. We're not talking about particular, we're talking about masses. And the health industry itself, you can imagine any hospital, the amount of technology it requires. Okay. Already we know in the electricity field, Siemens, without being particular, but just as one of the companies in Kuwait who have actually brought a lot of their technology that had to do with electrical and power generation, has contributed a lot to the development of the Kuwait, development generally. So the German technology has always been a pioneering technology in innovation.
Correct.
So I'm sure there are firms that produce all types of hospital
health
tools has to do with hospital and Medicare. Aside from the vehicles, I'm sure there are producers of such tools.
Mass production and tools for hospitals.
Yes, for hospitals, not only for Kuwait, for other. Just like Mercedes sells all over the world, there are tools that could be sold.
Correct.
That's one. And I believe Kuwait, if they don't, they should get.
Could we see a future of future investments in different field in Germany, let's say within the health sector? I'm
sure there is, because I know at one time we were, as a company, we wanted to create a factory, automotive factory in Kuwait, and we went to Germany. And we found that in Germany, in this particular industry, they're producing for the United States from zero certain products that had to do with automotive. They're producing for Britain, for Europe. And the German technology was always a pioneering producing center for all kinds of technical products. So in that particular nation, you can find, I'm sure, firms and industry that produce tools or whatever you need for hospitals, and they're just as in demand as they are
and as good as reliable.
And reliable, and as in demand. You're talking about all hospitals in the world require these tools, so why not we participate in this?
Since we're on different other topics, let's hop onto something else that's related to agriculture, let's say.
Yes.
Is that fine with you?
Yes, of course. I was involved in selling some agricultural equipment to Kanana project in Sudan. Talking about in 1980s, and the field of agricultural equipment that you need for big agricultural products, you need lots of machinery. And you need lots of tools, and these have to be reliable, precision produced, so that you can do precision work, very particular and meticulous work that needs to be done. And I found that there was a competition between European producers and American producers and Australian producers, and it was interesting, where the Europeans always brought some kind of a advanced technology more than the other two countries. with all due respect. So therefore, in the field of agriculture, and I think Kuwait has to get more involved by supporting the agricultural sector in Kuwait to provide, the sustainability of food byproducts as close as to becoming a self-sufficient. And this requires tools. And we're not talking about Kuwait, of course. If you invest in any company that produces agricultural equipment, cars and tools and trucks and cranes and belts and whatever, for plowing, for planting and harvesting, all these things, the world needs this. So it's not just for Kuwait, just like we talk about the Mercedes, we talk about hospital requirement, same thing applies.
Because everything is related and we all share the same world and we have to take care of it.
Yes.
Future-wise, we have to go green, and Kuwait is focusing on that as well.
Most importantly is that you have the brains in Kuwait who can think positively, who can
That's
think
very
productively.
true and,
and we have this Daimler experience as a backfall, situation, as a springboard for you to move into other fields. And Kuwait knows how to deal with this financially, and we have the available funds from the oil products, so we can diversify the source of income through these different industries: automotive, hospital, medical, call it, and agricultural.
And we are proud, and we are very sure we have very inspiring young adults, Kuwaiti citizens who are interested, and we have the funds, like you mentioned, and with the experience of Mercedes-Benz and with their academia helping out those students, we do hope for a brighter future, especially in many fields, not just automotive. Speaking about
just as an example, about 10 years ago, there was a call to get involved in nuclear energy in Kuwait, and we got very excited about it. It shows that they are thinkers, and they always have some idea, and these ideas need to be now implemented, because the manpower you require from the local engineers and specialists and academians and graduates from Kuwait University and abroad are available, and they have in them the will, and the will and the energy to actually be productive. They need to be all gathered and materialized and invested into this.
And as we see, those powers are being invested in the right place.
And Azan Amir today in the newspaper said he's supporting the young generation.
Correct. It's always been, and he always will be.
Exactly.
Mr. Jassim, let's take a quick look at this following report and we'll get back.
Inshallah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick look at this following report and get back.
Kuwait and Germany continue to enjoy strong economic ties, with trade between the two nations reaching approximately 1.8 billion euros in recent years. German exports made up the bulk of this figure, around 1.1 billion euros, primarily in automobiles, machinery and pharmaceuticals. Notably, Kuwait imported over 291 million US dollars worth of German vehicles, reflecting the Kuwaiti market's preference for German engineering and automotive quality. This steady trade growth highlights Germany's role as a key European partner for Kuwait, particularly in the automotive and industrial sectors. With both sides exploring new opportunities, experts predict an even stronger trade relationship in the coming years, backed by innovation, trust, and shared economic goals.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, but before we leave, Mr. Jassim, is there something that you would like to share with our dear viewers or to Mercedes-Benz?
No, I'd like to thank both Kuwait government, KIA, and the Mercedes-Benz, Daimler-Benz owners for giving the opportunity for Kuwait to benefit from this joint venture. Both sides learning, and at least from the Kuwaiti side, I hope that the Kuwaiti new generation benefits from this and takes full participation into this for their future.
Well, thank you for those kind words. I do as well. Do thank our government and KIA and Mercedes-Benz for sharing their experience with us. We do look for a brighter future together. Well, folks, thank you once again for joining us. We've heard about the historical and future significance of the Kuwait Mercedes-Benz partnership. I want to thank you for sharing. I want to thank our special guest for sharing such valuable insights, and to our viewers, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's program and learned more about this remarkable relationship. Once again, thank you for joining us. I'm Yusuf Ibrahim. Until next time, take care.
Representing His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Mish'al al-Ahmed al-Jabr al-Sabah, may Allah protect and bless him. His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah al-Ahmed al-Sabah, the Prime Minister, may Allah protect him, marks a momentous journey to Germany in a vibrant commemoration of the strong Kuwaiti-German relations. The State of Kuwait and the Mercedes-Benz Group rejoice in 50 years of partnership. Bound by shared values and visions, the flags of both nations flutter in harmony, echoing a melody of friendship and cooperation.